Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today I'm going to talk about what everybody else seems to be talking about. So if that doesn't interest you, here's just your heads up. And as you can tell by the title, what I'm alluding to is the Tucker Carlson interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, there's many ways to look at this, and there's many ways to do a take on this, and we're going to try and take a neutral stance and look at this from a few different angles. The big things that are just from a aerial point of view, trying to take a step back and look at everything, take it all in. So, if everything's true from what we have been told, is that about a year ago or so, when Tucker was still at Fox, he reached out for an interview, was allegedly spied on and all that, made him stop. This time around, in his words, through his video, he said that he paid for it out of his own money, that he didn't take any money, didn't do anything like that. And so he did it on his own, completely on his own. Okay, so we've got that much. So he went over there, and he's been over there for a couple of days. I still have not, as of the time of this recording, saw that he has made his return trip. Now, the interesting part is that the second it started coming out that he was even over there in the first place, you started getting calls of treason. And we talked about this in the live stream last night, that there were multiple people that have been interviewed by various US media outlets, media giants. They have interviewed Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. A couple of them have interviewed Putin, several times, and nobody said anything then. Now, all of a sudden, it's a big deal. So I find it strikingly odd. Now, the next thing is in his 4 minute or so video, he says that he has reached out to Zelensky and offered to do an interview with him. Uh, Looking at some of the news from last night and today, it looks like Ukraine has placed Tucker Carlson on the enemies list on their website. So I doubt he's going to get an interview with Zelensky now. Again, we'll just have to wait and see how all this plays out. Now, the big thing, I guess, before we really take a deep dive into this, is that everybody's got their agenda, everybody's got their play. They want to be biased in some form or fashion. And we would expect that in this interview, now Tucker is claiming that it's going to be pretty much raw and unedited, but you have the Russian president is going to come out and make Russia look really good. Okay. And I don't blame him. That's his job. It's what he should do. If he was trying to make Russia look bad, then he would be an extremely bad leader, and then the Russian people should do something about that. If you are the leader of a country, of a state, a territory, if you're the leader of a little league flag football, you stick up for those that you are leading. That is your job. If you don't, you're a terrible leader. So, yes, you have to have that expectation going into that. So it's going to be interesting to be what is being said. Now, this is claiming to be a 2 hour long interview video, and it's looks like, from what all the rumors and everything's coming out, is that it's going to be released tomorrow around 5 p.m. ish, somewhere in that time. And so now it comes into play. You have, as I have mentioned, you have Ukraine has already put him on his enemy list. Now there's already talk and rumors coming out that the EU is thinking about putting sanctions on Tucker for doing this interview. You have different politicians and different celebrity, whatever you want to call them, saying that he shouldn't even be Tucker should not be allowed to come back in the country. He should be stopped at the border, which I find very ironic and just completely baffling. Seeing how we have a border crisis, that you're going to stop an American from coming into his own country. The real big thing on this, okay, I know I keep alluding to that and keep saying it over and over, is whatever you believe, whether you believe that there is a powers to be, whether there is a deep state, whether you believe there's a orchestrated events controlled by somebody, whether you just believe that things happen and that's what it is, that nobody's controlling anything and everything that you see and hear is absolutely true. Whatever you believe, okay, there's a lot of people that do not want this out. That's extremely obvious. Now, whether that can be a psyop play to push it to where the audience is much higher, okay, that very well could be. Could it be at face value that there's somebody or a group of people or a lot of people that don't want this to be out? Okay, that can be true as well. And so that really puts us into a time frame. And I know there's a bunch of people that hate dates and times and things, and I get it. But on this channel, we like to use those. So if that 5 p.m. ish is true, then by the time that this video gets released, that's a little over 24 hours. What could happen in those 24 hours if somebody or some group did not want this interview to go out? Well, it's going to be released on basically the internet. So would that be a play on the internet? Could be. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for a internet blackout? We talked about that was it Senegal? They did an internet blackout because they were postponing the presidential election. And before anybody that hears this goes, well, that's absurd, that's silly, it could never happen. Well, it could happen, okay? Will it happen? I don't know. It's 2024. There's a lot of weird things going on. And so there's a lot of variables at play, if you will. And so to do this, you would have to do some sort of internet blackout in order to stop, if not at least postpone until you can figure out what to do with it. Two would be to figure out how they're going to do it. And so I very seriously doubt that Tucker's got his own servers and everything. And so, more than likely, they'll figure out where it's going to be streamed from or uploaded from, and they could attack that servers. Now, they very well could, because you had Elon Musk say that he was going to support it and not censor it and allow it to be broadcast on X. They could very seriously go after X. They've tried for a number of times to go after X, and so could we see that there's a major attack on the social media platform? I'm going to be watching Down Detector and a couple of other different places to see if there's any sort of internet connectivity issues, if you will, and we will see what comes of this. If you have something like a internet blackout, and let's say that 5 p.m. ish is about the time, could you imagine that at 4:30, right before this does, all of a sudden there is no internet? What would that cause? What would ensue afterwards? Would you have people that would instantly connect those dots? This was on purpose. They did this to stop this. What happens if it's not really that? What happens if it's localized? What happens if somebody takes out just one major city? Would people understand because they wouldn't have the communications? Would they start rioting in one or two big cities when everybody else has internet and everything's fine, but these people have no idea what's going on? There's a lot at play. And with everything that comes through, there's so much information, there's so much fifth generation warfare. Everybody's got an angle, everybody's out for themselves. And so I really encourage you, take a neutral stance, step back, get information from everywhere. If you watch Fox, watch CNN, at least the clips. If you watch CNN, get some clips from Fox. Don't get the already done for you clips from somebody else because they edit and manipulate that so that way they can get their point across. Make sure that you get information from everything. The best way to really understand what's going on is to get both sides. You know, say you have two kids or two employees or whatever, and something happened. Do you just listen to one of them and then go, nope, that's 100% what happened? Or do you listen to one side, listen to the other side, give it some cognitive thinking, and figure out what actually happened with all the information that you were provided? So it's the same thing with all of this. There's more than one angle, there's more than one side to everything. And are you going to be 100% correct? No, you're not going to be. Will we ever really know 100%? Probably not. And that right there is the start of everything. To get emotionally involved and to get so invested into a decision that you will probably never know 100% of the truth about. That right there is one of the things that I think most people need to come to grips with. You can feel very informed, but you'll never actually know. And so, with this, you can only do what you can, and you've got to make the best of the situation that you possibly can out of whatever's going to happen. You and I, we're not going to stop anything along those lines. You can do minor little things to help those around you. You can do things to put yourself and your family and those that you love and care about in the best position to weather whatever storm may come. You do what the prepper motto is. You prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And every day you wake up and hope today will be better than yesterday, and that you're not going to have, the apocalyptic whatever scenario pop out today. And that's what we all should hope for. And if you're not, you may need to step back and do a self assessment, if you will. There's a lot, and I get it. It can be challenging at times. You can get prepper fatigue. You can get burnt out. You can get anxiety. You can get stressed. You can get scared. And the big thing for you, if I can give one last piece of advice on all of this, whatever comes out about this, make sure that you stop and think about everything and think it fully all the way through the best that you possibly can. Don't let your emotions get involved with it. Sometimes you have to make difficult decisions without your emotions. Sometimes even your best friend that you love, you care about, you fully trust, in the end they're human and they make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes comes with consequences. And so you can't let your emotions dictate what is right in the end. And so going back real quick to touch on before I close out is when you're getting your information, that also needs to have it to where you check your emotions at the door. I see so many people that will sit there and say, you can't trust that person because of this or their past or whatever. You take anybody, okay? Let's just all agree. Let's just say Hitler, okay? Hitler was bad, right? If Hitler came out and said he was the one that discovered and found that if you drop 6-8 drops of bleach into water, it makes it safe to drink. Would all of us in the prepping community completely ignore that, going, "Oh, it's from Hitler. We don't take anything from Hitler"? No, bad people, evil people, people that are generally, just bad people. They have good ideas at times. They can speak the truth at times, and people have to be able to accept that yes, you have to be able to distance yourself and be able to judge and know what is right, what is wrong, what is truth, and what isn't. And so that's where I think a lot of people make mistakes when they go through and they look at this, is they get emotionally invested that they get behind somebody or they completely turn them away. And you never know, that person that you've trusted for a while didn't suddenly change and they shouldn't be trusted anymore. But you're so emotionally invested in them that you ignore the truth, or that somebody is generally a bad person, but this one time they're speaking something that can really be beneficial, but you ignore it because of that. Take in what you have and discern for yourself. Is that good information? Is it beneficial for me? And take it for what it is on there. Even on prepping channels like mine or anybody else that you watch, you're not going to get 100% value out of every single one. You follow the ones that you agree with for the most of it, but you're not going to get 100% of value out of every single episode, the entire 10, 20 minutes, however long the video goes. And so you've got to pick and pull the pieces out of it and move on. That's the best that you can do. But going back, we will see what happens. So, will it be released tomorrow? It looks that way. We don't know. It's another one of those, you're just going to have to sit on your hands and wait and see what happens. There's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of buzz going about this. Just be mindful. It's not something that anybody should stress over or get terrified or anything like that. It shouldn't be a freak out moment, but it is something that we should be aware of, and it's something that we can use to our benefit. If something bad is going to happen, we have a date, we have a time, so we could actually use this and go, okay, if this happens, what do I need to do about it? How can I be better prepared that tomorrow at 5, if the internet goes out, what is my communications? How will I communicate? Will I be home in time or will I be at work? Do I need to stop tonight or in the morning and top off my fuel tanks just in case? If nothing happens, what's the worst that you did? You got a full tank of gas now? I mean, it's one of those things. So, but I just wanted to jump in, give my 2 cents. I've had a few people reach out to me. I figured more was probably going to do so, so I'm just going to go ahead and make the video and be done with it. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you guys have any questions, comments, concern, you know what to do. Drop them down in the comment section. Do all the fun YouTube things down below me. The like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Share this out with some people. The channel is growing. We're doing really good and fun things. And then don't forget tonight, because if you made it to this far in the video, you rock. Appreciate you guys. But again, tonight is our Workshop Wednesday. It is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us. There are me and STP, that is Southern Tier Prepper. We'll be doing our seed giveaway. There is a total of 5 prizes, and I hope that you guys will be able to come join, hang out, and maybe win a prize. So with that, stay tuned. There's definitely more information to come. And with that, say it with me now. Please remember to remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.